The Prime Minister is pushing back on any one group having a mandate to speak for Māori and says 2 seats remain at the table for the iwi chairs if they want to be part of a wider discussion on freshwater. Jacinda Ardern and a delegation of ministers and MPs were welcomed to Waitangi today for the iwi chairs forum, where the government stressed that its door was always open. Our political reporter Joe Moya is in Waitangi.
For the first time in many years, the Iwi Chairs Forum was opened up to the media today in an effort to make the engagement between iwi and the Crown more transparent and accountable. While the Prime Minister was warmly received, the first order of the day was to gift her a pendant named Te Aroha for her daughter Neve. There was still plenty of frank comments and the odd bit of criticism. The Ngāi Tahu chair, Lisa Tumahai, didn't mince her words when she stood and told Jacinda Ardern that the iwi leaders are their own voice that should not be lost amongst other pan-Māori groups.
We understand the need to engage with New Zealand citizens. We support and accept that there has to be engagement with pan-Māori on issues, but we do not want to be diluted into Māori. We are iwi.
After the forum, Jacinda Ardern told media that it's not new for iwi leaders to want to make their voice heard, but the Crown isn't going to assume any particular group has a mandate to speak for all Māori.
And that's a discussion that's been had for some time. That's around the seat at the table, ensuring that we don't assume any one group has who has been at the table in the past has mandate, and that direct dialogue with iwi leaders is really important.
One particular table that still has 2 empty seats is the Kāhui Waimāori Advisory Group, set up by Environment Minister David Parker last year to consult more broadly on freshwater issues. The iwi chairs walked away from the group the day after it was formed, saying they weren't properly consulted about it. Ms Ardern says they'll welcome back any time.
There are 2 seats at the table for them in that group, but equally we've said if they choose to directly engage, let's not get process in the way of us making progress, and I think that's a view that we all share.
Wallace Rivers, the chair of Ngāi Tahu, the Northland iwi that's hosting the forum this year, reiterated that rejoining the freshwater group is still an option.
We will look at that and just see if that forum is a safe environment initially for us, and that our point of view will be discussed and heard.
Mr Rivers rejects the suggestion that Kāhui Waimāori undermines the iwi chairs. He expects substantial progress on freshwater issues will have been made by the time the forum next meets in May. There were notable absences from the meeting today on the government side. Both the Regional Economic Development Minister Shane Jones and Employment Minister Willie Jackson, who have been highly critical of the iwi chairs forum in the past, were nowhere to be seen. The Deputy Prime Minister Winston Peters wasn't in Waitangi either. Backbench New Zealand First MP Jenny Marcroft is representing the party. Mr Rivers isn't concerned about criticism from some government ministers and the suggestion the iwi chairs forum is elitist.
Within our marae, our hapu and iwi, there is a general feeling that the leadership in most cases is getting the job done. Our people are comfortable.
The Prime Minister has now left Waitangi to attend a Chinese New Year event in Auckland tomorrow, but will return to the north on Sunday for a 4-day stretch, starting with a Provincial Growth Fund announcement alongside Shane Jones. From Waitangi for Checkpoint, Joe Moore.